In overnight news, not just one, but two cars slam into a pedestrian here in Albuquerque.
Yeah, police say one of the cars took off afterward, but it didn't take long for police to find the driver. This all happened between Lead and Martin Luther King, very close to I-25. News 13's David Romero is live with the details. David, what have you been able to learn here?
Well, Elizabeth, police tell us it looks like the man who got hit was drunk when the crash happened, and it also appears that he was hit by two cars. Now, it was about 11:45 last night near Lead and Maple. Police on the scene tell us one car was driving on Lead when it hit the man with its side mirror. The car pulled over to check on the man, and that's when police say a truck also hit that person and then took off. Police soon met up with him near MLK and Interstate 25. From the video, you can see he had alcohol in the truck, and police say they think he was drunk. Now, police say he admitted to being involved in the hit and run, and he was arrested and charged with DWI. Now, as for the pedestrian, he was taken to the hospital and has severe head trauma. Elizabeth, back to you.
Okay, David, thank you. It is not known if the man in the truck will face any other charges. We'll continue to follow any new developments and bring them to you.
Doug Bond, the man behind the biggest Ponzi scheme ever here in New Mexico, has just hours of freedom left. That's because tomorrow, Bond is supposed to turn himself in and start serving 12 years in federal prison. That's what a judge decided yesterday after Bond admitted to stealing $75 million from his friends who thought they were investing in his real estate company.
I think justice was a little shy on what they should have been doing. But I'm glad it's over.
Well, 12 years is the most that Bond could have gotten with his plea deal, but his lawyer was pushing for 10 years with the first year of that spent in an alcohol rehab program. When he was in court yesterday, Mr. Bond did apologize for stealing all that money and says he has now found God. The man who Albuquerque police say was drunk when he caused a crash that ended up killing a 2-year-old boy is once again behind bars this morning. Mariano Salas was charged with vehicular homicide yesterday, accused of causing the crash that killed little Vicente Griego last week. Right after that crash, Salas paid $5,500 to get out of jail, but now he's going to have to pay $25,000 in cash if he wants out. Salas' attorney wanted that bond to be lower, saying Salas is sorry for what happened, but that's not enough for Vicente's parents.
Regardless of how sorry you are, it's not going to bring back my son. I'm sure if I was to do the same thing to his child, I'd feel solely wrong. I'd feel so wrong because then my son would still be alive, and I'd know how he'd feel, but he don't know how I feel.
Little Vicente's family had a private memorial for the little boy yesterday.
It's happened again. The Albuquerque Police Department's Internal Affairs Office is investigating what one officer was caught doing on tape. Officials say last month, police were called to a house on the west side after two men were seen throwing rocks at a car. Investigators say as police were questioning them, one of the guys, Philip Herrera, pulled out his cell phone and said he wanted to call a lawyer. That's when officials say Officer Ryan Graves took the phone from him.
Are you asking me my phone?
Well, Officer Graves ended up smashing the phone and told his supervisor what had happened. Herrera, by the way, was arrested for causing damage to a car. Internal Affairs is looking into how the officer acted and may even make him buy the suspect a new phone.
A Lobo football player who was arrested accused of driving drunk will be back on the field soon. Cornerback Devonta Tabana was suspended last week after police say he ran a red light near 2nd and Lomas and almost hit an officer. The next day, Tabana told Coach Bob Davie what had happened and was suspended. Now Coach Davie says Tabana can play again, starting with the game on September 15th. That's against Texas Tech. Tabana has also agreed not to drive again until January. The man who used to work for the city of Albuquerque and is already accused of animal abuse is in even more trouble this morning. Police arrested this man, Tim Chavez, after they say he admitted to shooting his gun in the air because he was sick of people speeding down his street. A woman driving by says Chavez yelled and pointed the gun at her, but Chavez says no, it was in the air. He's now charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. If you remember, Chavez lost his job with the city's Family Services Department in July when officers say he starved 3 dogs so badly they almost died. But they are doing better now.
A well-known Santa Fe doctor is in trouble with the law this morning. A grand jury has indicted 63-year-old Richard Lieberman for drug trafficking as well as for patronizing a prostitute. Lieberman was arrested back in May after police say he flagged down a prostitute while undercover officers were watching. Officers say they followed him to the woman's apartment. The woman claims Lieberman offered her money for sex and that the two snorted cocaine. Lieberman is the founder of Urgent Care Santa Fe and was formerly in charge of the emergency room at Christus St. Vincent Regional Medical Center.